Well, who's ready to talk about the plan? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, but I have to because we have some news to talk about in regards to the plan. A bunch of things that we talk about here. Where it started here at this point. Let's go. I guess we'll start over here. Long Island home prices up again in Nassau and Suffolk. How much do you need to make to afford a house?
Long Island housing prices are up once again, and that means buyers are digging even deeper to own a home. News 12's Kevin Vesey tells us how far budgets are being stretched.
I'm currently working 2 jobs so I can make ends meet. I'm just hoping to be able to afford a house one day.
24-year-old Joseph Payton from Smithtown dreams of one day buying a home of his own, but that dream just got a little more out of reach after Long Island housing prices jumped once again. The median sale price of a single-family home in Nassau County was $835,000 last month.
$835,000.
A 3.1% increase. The median price in Suffolk was $700,000, up 4.5%.
It's just very expensive.
Conventional loans allow buyers to spend as much as half of their gross monthly income on their mortgage and other debts. Mortgage broker Jeff Siegel says more people nowadays are getting up to that 50% limit. Are people spending half of their gross income?
It's close. I always tell people, give me what you're comfortable with in paying. It may be less than that 50%.
But the Department of Housing and Urban Development recommends spending just 30% of gross income on your mortgage. So to buy that median $700,000 home in Suffolk, you'd need to make about $170,000 a year to comfortably afford it.
Got to be working on Wall Street.
For the median $835,000 house in Nassau, you'd need to make around $214,000 a year.
Yeah, you got to be like a stockbroker.
Those prices might force him to move someplace else.
Shut up and go live in New Jersey.
I'm trying to stay on Long Island, but it's really expensive.
Kevin Vesey, News 12.
Exactly.
Now, to keep your monthly payment as low as possible, experts say you should put down 20% or more if possible and shop around for the best.
So, yeah, just more proof of the plan going on. Yeah, he's going to be priced out. He's going to be forced out. He's going to have to, he wants to buy a house. He's going to have to shut up and go live in New Jersey, because we're being forced out by these high home prices, and they keep going up. But the snobs, they love this. They love it. They are living it up. They are happier than ever. Look at them, just with the wine and everything. They are just happier than ever, knowing that they are forcing more and more people out, and no affordable housing is being built unless you want to live in the hood. That's our next story that we're going to talk about here. Where is it? Here we go.
Another $50 million for affordable housing here on Long Island. Governor Hochul announced that new
sounds like good news, right?
Subsidies for affordable units in senior homes. More than $31 million is going to Nassau County to redevelop public housing in Hempstead and also fund
Hempstead. Yeah, who wants to live in Hempstead where you got tweakers and all kinds of criminals roaming around? Not a safe place at all. I love how they're showing farming there. None of those apartments are affordable. They're only renting to snobs. They're not going to rent to somebody like me.
The senior housing project in Freeport. Suffolk is set to get $25 million for a housing project in Brookhaven, and then also to build on empty land in Riverhead.
So none of those are easy, good areas for people to live in. All right, that people, especially most of these people, aren't going to have cars. None of them are good places for them to live, especially because of the crime. All right, she acts like that's a big deal. They should be building affordable housing everywhere, but of course we don't get that here. And as an example of the median home prices, Ocean County, New Jersey, median sale of a home is only $465,000, and it's actually gone down 1.1%, because you can see Ocean County is too far from the city for all the Wall Street snobs, and that's why they don't want to live there. And this is kind of just shows you some of the fact that it's actually gone down, and it's continuing to go down in Ocean County because it's not a properly commutable area for the snobs that work in this. I'm sorry, I hate using that word, I really do, but when you see these people taking over and pricing everybody out of Long Island, I don't have kind words for them. I'm sorry, I just don't. All right, I just don't. I can't have kind words. I can't. All right. New Jersey, they have the Mount Laurel doctrine, which we don't have. All right, which means that Every community must provide opportunities for decent, affordable. We don't have such a law in New York, by the way. We don't have such a law in New York. All right, so New Jersey is much fairer to providing affordable housing, and that's why I have the saying, shut up and go live in New Jersey. Because it says right here, it mandates that all 564 plus New Jersey municipalities provide a fair share of affordable housing. Governor Hochul, why don't we have that in New York? Because Governor Hochul cares more about answering to Wall Street than about what's doing right for what's doing right for everybody. That's why. All right. And then in the city, you got this guy here. This guy, Mamdani. All right, Mamdani. Or I'm just going to call him Mamdani. All right, because he's such a freaking hypocrite. He wants to hike the property taxes on everybody. All right, to fill a $5 billion hole. You know, New York City has a higher budget than the whole state of Florida and many other states in this country. You know, Wall Street's making loads of money, and yet he doesn't have the money to fund the city. This guy is, and he's always wearing like these expensive suits. He's such a hypocrite. He likes to make you think he's one of you, but he's not. He's one of the snobs. That's what he is. He's one of the snobs. He's with Rioters Alliance, or should I say Fraudsters Alliance. He's with the snobs. I wish people would realize that. He hasn't done a damn thing about things like this. Teen shootings in the city.
Outrage and frustration from the Bronx district attorney over violent and deadly youth crime in her borough. It's increasing in the Bronx, while overall crime in the city is falling.
Darcel Clark's
because the Bronx is where all the lower income people are put. That's why.
He was a high school football player who was out with two friends.
I don't see Mamdani doing a damn thing about that.
They were three innocent teenagers just hanging out when they were shot by alleged gang members.
Now she's calling for changes in the law on how young criminals are prosecuted.
This is all part of the plan.
NJ Burkin with the story. He's live in.
It's all part of the plan.
NJ.
Yeah, right, Bill. Simply put, Darcel Clark says gun possession cases belong in criminal court. But the fact is that most juveniles arrested in gun possession cases end up in family court, even the repeat
And that's because of Raise the Age.
DA says that's not working here in the Bronx.
Guess who signed that in?
I'm tired
Governor
of going
Hochul.
to the vigils. You know, I'm tired of going to the funerals. I'm tired of announcing indictments against young people.
Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark says the law needs to change. That last week's shooting that claimed the life of 16-year-old C.J. Redding should have been preventable. Redding was killed by a stray bullet. 2 others were wounded. All 3 were innocent bystanders. A 17-year-old has been charged. 2 others are still being sought. At a vigil last night, CJ's parents were inconsolable, and Ms. Clark urged the accomplices to come forward.
You were really angry last night, weren't you?
No one should have to worry about whether or not they're going to be at the other end of a bullet. So I was angry because I'm tired of saying the same.
Yeah, I don't see Mamdani doing a damn thing about this.
State lawmakers passed the Raise the Age law, raising the age of criminal responsibility to 18. But Ms. Clark
New Jersey doesn't have a law like that.
To carry weapons with little or no fear of prosecution.
Yep.
She believes the law should be amended so most gun arrests will be prosecuted in criminal court, not family court.
They might have made the biggest mistake of their life. Does that mean that they should go away to prison or jail for the rest of their life? Not necessarily, but they do need to know that there are consequences to their actions.
The Bronx is home to 20% of the city's youth population, but accounts for 30% of youth gun arrests, 48% of youth shooting arrests, and 38% of youth shooting victims. Rob DeLeon of the Fortune Society says no teen should be sent to criminal court unless the crime is particularly serious.
We don't want to create this scarlet letter for kids for the
we don't need to listen to him, right? Because
programs. Ms. Clark says her community any changes in the laws for youth, any changes
when they were young kids.
Yeah.
Governor Kathy Hochul has ruled out any changes in the law.
Yep, she doesn't want to change it.
Ms. Clark says her community
she thinks it's okay.
Chronically shortchanged.
We need to help the community-based organizations here in the Bronx stand up so they could provide the opportunities for the kids that live right here.
Well, Ms. Clark says millions of dollars were allocated as part of the Raise the Age law. New York, she says, has received none of it.
There you go. I don't see Mayor Mamdani speaking up about that. I don't see him speaking up about this too. There have been a lot of tenants in the city struggling with no heat.
Well, during this extreme cold stretch, tenants in a Bronx building say they're either left with no heat or at times too much of it. And that's not the only issue. Naveen Dolly.
I don't see him doing a damn thing about this.
Inside Angelette Waring's apartment, the heat is suffocating.
It is hot in here. Exactly.
Very hot.
Sounds like my place.
The temperature reads 94 degrees.
Too much heat.
Sweat roll down Waring's face as she tries to cool off. But then the heat shuts off.
It's either sweat or freeze.
She's lived here for half a century. She's raised her children in this home in East Tremont. But for more than a year, she says, the heat has been inconsistent.
You can go from 32 to 94 within 24
Well, my
hours.
place isn't quite
Adding
like
to
that.
the problem,
but-
she has cracks in the walls, a mice infestation, and
Yeah, I don't.
she has no gas.
No gas.
A hot plate or a skillet.
Where are you, Mayor Mamdani?
Isn't alone. A local activist says
Where is he?
all 28 apartments in the building are dealing with similar situations, and 2 businesses below are also affected, now running on generators to operate. And the situation has reached the courts.
There's an owner in place that unfortunately the courts have kind of removed because of their inability to operate the building. And so we have a receiver. And so for us, it has been challenging to figure out some of the legal pathways.
We reached out to the building's management company and haven't heard back. For Waring and dozens of others, this fight
This is
isn't
the way
just
people
about
have to
heat or
live.
gas. It's about staying
If
in
you
the
don't
homes
like it-
they built their lives around.
This is my home. This is where we grew up.
Well, they want to
And
force you out.
I could move someplace else, but that's what they want us to do.
But you're going to stay.
And
So they want to force him out. They want to force these people out. All right. And there was another story about people that basically had a fire and they were promised housing and they never got housing. Where's Mayor Mamdani in all this? Where is he in all this? Where is this piece of garbage? I'm sorry, but he is a piece of garbage. All right? He really is. He really is. He's a fraudster. He's the kind of person you walk into a car dealership with that stupid grin on his face trying to sell you a lemon car. All right, and he's going to laugh all the way to the bank, and he just basically ripped off everybody in New York City. I was trying to tell people this guy was no good. I was trying to tell people, but people didn't listen. They didn't listen at all. All right, he doesn't care about that. He's living, remember, this is a guy who's making 6 figures, but living in a rent-stabilized apartment in Astoria. Do you think he gives a damn about the average person? He just sold New York City a lie, and everybody in New York City got suckered over it. Everybody. All right? So, and he's anti-Semitic too, by the way. So, you're going to regret voting for this piece of garbage pretty soon. I got to say. All right? That's all I got to say. But this is the way it is in New York. This is the way it is in New York. And, you know, New York governor election, we get election here. We get to choose between these two. Yeah. Actually, nope, that's the old one. That's the old one. We get to choose between her or Blakeman. Hochul or Blakeman, folks. Hochul, Blakeman. Let's just trying to get their pictures up, but apparently, yeah, here you go. You get to choose between these 2 people here. These two you get to choose from. One who supports the snobs, the other one who supports the snobs. All right? All right? Blakeman doesn't give a crap about us in Nassau County. He doesn't give a crap about the middle of the county. I just read we had a shooting like a mile and a half away from me in a Homewood Suites and Car Place. The media is not even covering it. My quality of life in the middle of the island has gotten worse. Only the South Shore matters to this guy. But it's all part of the plan to force us out. That's what everything I've told you about is all part of the plan to force us out. That's just all part. And then you watch the TV stations in New York City, and yeah, they're showing stocks, they're showing commercials, because it's all about these finance people. Now, if you're not one of these people, who are having a great time, then sorry, you don't matter for shit in this state. And that's what we're fighting against. So that's all I got tonight. Again, this is the state of things here. And yep, if you don't like it, well, all I can say is know the plan.